What's good, guys? If you're a fan, you probably already know that
Comic book legends Robert Kirkman and Ryan Ottley have teamed up again to bring a new series starring Battle Beast, one of my favourite characters from Invincible. To mark the first issue, they've released a ton of variant covers in these unique blind bags, as well as a blank sketch cover. And I absolutely love these because it means anyone can grab it and draw their own unique cover. This is the first time I'll be doing this for quite a few years, and if you know me, you know I like to draw a beaten up mark. So here's your fake blood warning. But first, since I also picked up a blind bag, let's see what cover I got.
And so, yeah, my orders finally came this week. So, gonna do a quick unboxing.
Let's see what cover we got. Don't want to damage the packaging to it.
Yeah, this packaging is getting ruined.
That is nice.
And yeah, it is nice. I lucked out and got probably my favourite variant out of the bunch. And it's a beautiful cover drawn by the legendary David Finch, in his new and more illustrative and painterly style. And it really reminds me of painters like Frank Frazetta, so I'm definitely taking inspiration from his cover for my own. Here's a look at some of the other variants. So before I actually put pencil to paper, I've just gone into Procreate on my iPad to thumbnail some initial compositions. I'm basically doing all of the guesswork digitally so that I don't have to do too much erasing. And I do about 5 loose sketches before coming to the conclusion that I'm just going to go with the first sketch anyway, but it's important to experiment and not just go with your first ideas in most cases. Oh, and stick till the end for a bonus sketch. So now that I've got my composition, I'm using my 2mm lead holder to lightly block in the main shapes. With sketch covers, space is tight, especially around the upper third, because of the trade dress, so it's important to plan around these elements. Some covers will have elements in the foreground slightly overlapping like in the David Finch one, but for this I'm keeping it simple and I'm also going to keep the background plain, just because of time restraints and to stay on theme with Ottley's iconic sketch covers. And with those excuses out of the way, I would like to remind you that I am still working on my Comic Star Chamber and you can expect more updates soon. I'm afraid that's all I can say for now. Oh, and also, if you enjoyed my recent Music Maze series, I am planning on doing a follow-up, kind of wrap-up video discussing that challenge, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, back to the sketch. Here you can see I'm inking starting off with Battle Beast's head, and you can see rather than going in with my typical Tombow brush pen, I'm actually mostly using just a 0.3 Copic fine liner, and that just helps with keeping things sketchy and loose. And that just helps with keeping this sketchy and loose aesthetic. So this is my third time ever drawing Battle Beast, if you count Thrag's cloak or whatever he wears. But yeah, so just a quick review of this #1 issue of Battle Beast. I absolutely loved it, and I think Ryan Ottley's art is just peak when it comes to the action scenes in particular. I am pleased that it doesn't spoil any of Invincible, so if you've only seen the show and are interested in picking it up, you absolutely can. And Battle Beast's character design is just incredible and so fun to draw. So now it's my favourite part, the colouring stage. I have whole videos dedicated to the markers I use, but I'll just go over it quickly. So these are alcohol markers, and I'm shading in Battle Beast's skin by layering warm greys, and it's pieces like this that make it really important to have a range of greys with different temperatures. The reason I'm using warm grey is because it has a brown undertone, which adds a bit of warmth and gives life to the skin, whereas for things like his armour or sword, I'd use a cool grey which has a blue undertone and makes it feel colder and more like metal. And so here's where I go a bit overboard with the blood, and I have a whole tutorial on drawing blood if you want to check that out. But basically, 3 things: add depth, spontaneity, and a bit of white gel pen for speculative highlights. Also, just want to mention that if you're watching this the week that it drops, you can actually own this cover drawn by me by bidding on eBay. This is the first time I've ever done an auction like this, but it will be up for just a few more days, and I'd really appreciate if more than one person bid. The link will be in the description if you want to own some original art and support my work. But yeah, that's enough shameless plugging, and now it's time for the final reveal. And if you've read Battle Beast #1, let me know your thoughts. And for the back cover, I decided to use one of my unused thumbnails, just as a little bonus sketch. I didn't have time to ink it or anything. Also, I just want to say thank you so much for helping me get to 7k subs. Really means a lot. And if you want to see any other art related videos, if you've got any questions for me, just leave them in the comments. See you in the next one.